Alrighty folks, welcome back to Talos Principle 2. Where are we? We're near the gates. Okay, oh, near here. Okay, neat. Last time, everything was perfectly fine. We did some puzzles, we finished the area. Nothing was horrible at all. And we will move on to... oh, wait, hold on. Research 1. The system is full of fragments related to space. What? This is that the Noema system is full of ideas for space travel and colonization. Oh gosh. Is that what we're doing with the theory of everything? We're just immediately going, okay, off we go. Designs for launch pads and ships, sketches of cities, even an unfinished design for large-scale teleportation between distant planets. Interstellar, even intergalactic civilization, the kind writers like Ian Banks imagined is entirely possible if we want it. Which leads me to another thought. These bodies we have so carefully designed to look like our ancestors, but they don't really have to be. In his novels, Banks has intelligent minds like ourselves controlling entire ships or drones or even stations. If Alexandra Drennan was right, that it's not our shapes that make us human, and what it means to be human can be expanded if we maintain our creativity and our curiosity. With the theory of everything, we could transform ourselves as well as the world. The only question is, can we be trusted to build a society that actually works? Just for once in our long and stupidly bloody history, is something like the culture actually possible, or is it just a daydream and we'll always end up with another dystopia? Maybe Athena finally found the answer to that question. I've not read the culture, but I've got a friend who very much likes it. I mean, yeah, so one of my first thoughts when playing the game was like, okay, why is everything so human? And I guess my answer at the time, and I think that is the answer that the game has as well, is that, you know, these have been built like specifically to model humans, and they have learnt from humans, and that's kind of the point. But yeah, I guess they're recognizing that given that the way that they work, it's probably more feasible than it is like having a human like a biological human controlling a spaceship, but like being part of that spaceship. What am I saying? It's more likely that they would be able to integrate themselves with other things that aren't human-like forms than it is that we can integrate ourselves. Well, I mean, obviously we can do it, but we do it via physical interaction, like pushing buttons and moving joysticks or whatever. Whereas they and potentially depending on how human computer interfaces go, who knows what could happen. But it seems much more plausible that something that is already computer-like or built with the kinds of technologies that we use to build computers and other electronic technologies would be able to integrate with those things, obviously. And they're just coming to that. I always forget how they pronounce this. Hermanubis? Something like that. Oh, sorry, I know Mayor Herman worked hard and helped pull the city out of a period of crisis, but this isn't the future we deserve. None of us. We all deserve better. Yeah, we should have listened to Byron. I always told myself all these public debates were boring. Who wants to get involved in city affairs? And lately I've been thinking, yeah, that's why there's so much stuff I'm unhappy about, because we all collectively gave up trying. Maybe things can finally change. You have no idea how badly I need to happen. We have the potential to imagine a better world, and if we can imagine it, then we can make it happen. You're all delusional. Nothing will ever get better. You're only saying that because you've never known a world where things get better. You think the tiny sliver of history you've experienced is all there is, because that's all Mayor Herman has ever allowed you to see. But there is so much more. This is not the place for personal attacks on the mayor. Thread close. Of course, the only person that says anything... I'm not saying there needs to be the game needs to be going, oh, actually maybe the alternative argument is the right one or whatever, but the only person that shows up just comes in you're all delusional, nothing will ever get better. It's just not a great way of presenting the argument that they want to present. That's the issue, right? The issue is that they want to present a particular argument, and by doing things like this, they make it worse. like it's not nearly as convincing as it could be. Also, I was thinking, like, between last time playing and this time playing, there's an interesting thing about how if I take the story in the context of the game only, might have a different impression as if I take the story in the context of the real world and what it's trying to say about the real world and about people in the real world. And like I think it's good that the game is saying something about the real world. Like I enjoy games that have some kind of philosophical or political statement to make, and I think more of it would be good. And I was also thinking about like The Witness, which is a game that I really loved, and like that has like a philosophical point it's making, but it doesn't. I'm not sure it really has like a like it's not making a, or even in the philosophy, it's not really making much of a strong like argument. It's more of a like exploration without saying too much of any like. This is, well, at least that's the way I've taken it. And so yeah, obviously it's easier for me to be like, well, it's easier to not have any issues with the kind of themes that The Witness is going on about, because it doesn't really like try to argue a strong point. It's sort of like, here's a bunch of things, now go think about it. Whereas this game is taking a different approach, which is like, here's the philosophy that we're working within, and here's our point. And you know, they're putting that like up front and making the player engage with it, which is generally a good thing. I'm glad that games are doing that. Just not super keen on the way it's executed. But yeah, anyway. Should we go to the new area? Is that what I'm doing? That is what I'm doing, right? Yeah. I think the like load game screen made it clear that I'd definitely done everything up to this point. Like every percentage was exactly the same, like 92%, 92%, 90%. Okay, High Plain, West 3. A high altitude plateau in the island's western mountain range. The surrounding region often has restricted visibility due to fog. Okay.
We're getting closer. I hope Byron is still okay.
Prometheus seemed to think so. Let's hope he's trustworthy.
Those rings on the track are a bit like the rings that they had in the experiments in the lab for guiding what seemed like it was guiding the matter around. Or maybe it wasn't guiding, maybe the experiment was that the purple theory of everything goo, they were trying to get it to go through the rings. Maybe that was the experiment. It wasn't a guiding thing. Okay, we've got more people statues. So I guess soon we're going to find out what's at the end of all this. Are we going to find Athena, Cornelius? Are we going to not? Are we going to find...
Another remarkable structure. But what can its purpose be?
Actually, I can answer this one.
Oh, yeah?
In the Files 1K downloaded, there's a design for a launch pad for space vehicles.
Okay.
This is about 90% identical.
Are we really going there?
I don't think so, not if the inside is like the other towers.
Is this going to end with us, like, finding a spaceship and Athena's like, hello, come on board. Let's go to space. And we press a button and we fly off together. You didn't really have anything to say, did you? No. It feels, yeah, the one thing that's also the case, it feels like it's making like really big leaps. Like the story is making huge leaps from like, okay, we've we're reborn as a robotic continuation of human society, to we've got 1,000 robots, and there are like already like huge like issues and disagreements that's causing like people to fracture away and move elsewhere because they don't believe there's any hope in society at 1,000. we're only at 1,000, and then the ones who have gone away have discovered the theory of everything. And not only have they figured out the theory of everything, but it's given them ultimate control over some purple goo that can do loads of stuff. And then we're planning to go to space. There's like huge leaps in this story in a way that feels a little weird. Feels like you could have spread this over 5 games. Which way do I actually want to go? Was there a sign here? There was a sign here. One is this way. Alright. Ooh, what's this area? Is this an area full of puzzles or just one puzzle in the middle? It looks like maybe just one in the middle. Okie dokie. New mechanic time. Boom. From within. Okay. Which fans? This is like a classic setup from the first game that we haven't seen very much. From within. Maybe it's not new mechanic time. Maybe it's just more complicated puzzles with the things we've used. Oh, so I can only block one of those, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's why there's 2 of them. What are we trying to do? We're trying to get through there. What opened? Was that closed? Oh. It looks like this opened there. Yes. Okay. Wait, just to... well. So we want to walk through here and do something from here. Okay, I think we're doing... I think this might be like the last area of Gehenna where it's like... a bunch of kind of... Well, I guess we'll see. I'm judging based on one. A bunch of like... smaller, intricate puzzles using only the existing mechanics. What was in there? Is that where I got the connector from? I guess so. So I need some way of... Not jam a connector, right? That would be new. No. Being in there... Like, obviously I can like block this, but I can't like move that from there. So what could do that? What could I do on the other side? Well, the connector would... Connector can't be over there, because then it's not going to connect to this. So the only thing I can do is jam... from within. Okay, that's good. That's a good puzzle. Nice. Good job. That is like one of those puzzles at the end of Road to Canada. So if the rest of this area is like that, I would be pleased. We'll see.
In their notes, Athena and Cornelius called what they were doing the Noema Project.
Noema.
But in one case, Vision, they just called it the Machine. Because when you strip away all the fancy rhetoric, that's all it is.
That's all we
It's
are.
not a source of meaning or purpose. It's just another machine.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the thesis of Talos Principle, is that we're all machines. I'm not sure which way that was pointing. To this way, so maybe like up here in this area. I find like the discussions of like meaning and purpose to just all be a bit like, not in this, just in this game, but like in general, it's always a bit like, okay, I don't know whether it's even a meaningful discussion. like decide whatever you want to be meaning, but like it doesn't feel like a great basis on which to make a great argument about like expansion or technological progress or whatever. Just like it just all comes down to like, there is meaning in this thing that I want to argue for. And that is just kind of empty. Okay, and what do you mean by meaning? Okay, it looks like maybe we're going down to a bunch of these areas to solve these puzzles. Okay, 2. Chicken flights. Okay. We're gonna escape the chicken coop. Maybe out of there. Oh, so that's purple. I always have to do that. It's like, just like mentally, like my brain builds up a model as I'm walking through. And it's like, okay, there's an area in there that's locked away from me. And I have to, oh no, that's not locked away from me. It's purple. I can go in. And I can already connect that as well. Which I don't think it's going to send me anywhere new, is it? Is this always on? I guess so. Okay, why do I want to bounce between those 2 areas? Yeah, it's always on. Are we doing the like suspending between? I don't think they were aligned with each other actually, so no. So this can be opened. This goes to a fan there, with a button below it. Oh, okay, surprisingly close to that. I think it didn't want me to get that close. Oh, yeah, do it again. I can even press the button. I think that opens that gate. The ending is there, and there's a gate here. What do we have? We have 2 connectors. And there's a window through here, which is curious. So that fan can't be removed. What are we saying? But there's no other objects. Oh, the fan stops if this isn't powered. Okay, I see. So I sort of want to go through here. What's the purpose of this thing? Hold on. Like I could... Oh, I also need something that I can put on that, because I'm going to need to walk through there. Well, it's going to have to be this. Does that do that turns that fan on? Why? Like, I don't have a box, so I'm not sending connectors anywhere, I'm sending me somewhere. They have very different arcs. That's a very weird arc. While I'm going back in. Feels like I suddenly start getting extra, like, vertical velocity at some point. So I'm reminded of puzzles towards the end of Gehenna where you could, like, block lasers in certain ways. Why that? That's super weird. So basically I want to be on the other side of this door and do something that stops you. I do have access to this window. I could charge that up. I mean, yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel like it... Oh, I can't... Well, I can take this in, of course. Like, I feel like I can do this, but it's not going to, like, use this fan in a interesting... Whoa! Oh, right, I don't want you to attach to that, I want you to attach to just that and that, yeah. Oh, yeah, but I feel like that's going to work. Even though I feel like it's not using that fan as much as... like, it's just throwing you into the corner, but... If I do this, that should disconnect you, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Not 100% that... It doesn't fully feel like the complete solution. Like, why are you at an angle? I'm sure. Like in a way, it feels like, no, I like the puzzle. It's a cool idea. Like, I triggered that fan while I was inside that room, and it moved the thing so it wasn't able to connect to the door anymore, into the fan. But at the same time, the setup made it like that could have, like, if the setup had been slightly different, I would be totally happily accepted that was the intended solution, because it was still an interesting solution. But the setup made it feel like maybe I did something slightly different than intended. This is 3. Yep. There we go again. I'm enjoying the types of puzzles these are, though. Blue, fan, door. Oh, well, that's interesting. It's just a space here with a door in it. So that will open the gate, but also turn on the fan. Although I can sort of see how that might be useful for something. So there's a blue here. Basically, I want that to be connected to that, which it could have been if I'd just done this and put that down here. That's the whole thing. Okay. It's a cute little setup, but very quick.
The scale of it all is truly breathtaking. But is it a human scale, or is it so enormous that it can only alienate us? Humans have always been happiest in small communities.
Small town paranoia, isolationism and peasant mentality. Great for burning witches, not so great for personal freedom.
Ever the pessimist?
In the simulation, I found myself thinking how hard it must have been for Alexandra to die without knowing if her sacrifices were worth it. It seemed like a tragic end to an inspiring, meaningful life. But now I realize her whole life must have been a struggle. To maintain that faith in humanity when so many people around her insisted that humans are evil, worthless, when they were so lost in self-hatred that they would call their own species a virus. How did she do it? How did she maintain her faith when they were so determined to hate themselves? So determined to reject every solution, every analysis, every step towards controlling the forces that were causing their problems, when they rejected even the concept of progress itself, and then patted themselves on the back for it as if that was original. When I look at the archives now, all I can see is that their leaders were short-sighted idiots and their intellectuals were unimaginative cowards. All they could offer people was a downward trend. Fewer rights, fewer freedoms, fewer resources for anything that mattered. They must have hated Alexandra and everything she stood for. So how did she have so much faith?
This, like, yeah, this leans at this kind of like relates to the point I was making about it. Like, I would feel differently about it if it didn't feel like it was talking about the real world. Like, I could sort of imagine if I just put myself in the perspective of this is a fictional universe where that is the world that the previous story happened in. I could be like, yeah, no, that sounds awful. Why was it like that? But it very much sounds like they're just talking about, like, although they're at least trying to talk about like now, in the real world, and I feel like that's just like a complete misrepresentation of actual reality. There might be some people that say those things, but if you're constantly seeing people who are saying those things, you're surrounding yourself with with nonsense. So that's your problem to fix for yourself. 4. Duality. It's like somebody watched reality TV and decided to make an entire game about how everything's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, it's like somebody, watched reality TV and then decided to say, oh, that's reality, and I'm going to make a big argument about that being reality. It's like, well, I'm just using reality TV as an example of, like, an exaggerated, fictitious version of the world. And what I feel like is the reality is they've taken social media and depicted that as as representing the way the world works. And like the very fact that the game has social media in it, it tells me that like that's on their mind as like social media is like part of the how they view the structure of the world in such a significant way. Is there even the future? It looks like a lot of people are getting excited about how things are going to change, but all I can see is another repetition of the same mistakes. Ecocide, hubris, self-destruction. Why would anything be different this time? All we can do is give it our best shot. I don't think our best shot is good enough. Maybe it isn't, but we won't know if we don't try it. If we go and expect to fail, we'll fail. I wonder how consistent my responses have been across this. I think it's probably been quite chaotic. So I think this is going to be one of those ones where you maybe have to break the laser with something. I just have to get through here, right? Just to get through there, we need red there. Okay. There's a window. I mean, it's gonna require 2 connectors. I reckon I'm setting this up early. No, that doesn't make sense. Like, somehow this needs to be on blue, but also on red, and then switch. Is that a thing that can happen? No, because this will just, they'll meet here. In between the 2, yeah. There's some way to fix that. It is good that they have the pulses going along the lasers as a way of like quickly being able to see like, oh, so the directionality is this. In like a more complex situation where you couldn't see the source or the sensor or whatever. There's a bunch of like good like user interface things in this game that they thought about, which is nice. Red to there. While I'm in here. It has to turn twice. It's not possible for it to not. Without, yeah, no, it's just not possible for it to not. However, I've got to be able to do it from in here. But to get in here, blue has to be open. You can't remove blue and still get through. So somehow you have to get repurposed. Oh, if you're connected to that, does that block things? No, what does that? Okay. Right, yeah, they just hit this. Yeah, okay, I'm not sending anything out to that. But if... no. hold on. It has to turn 2 corners. I have to have blue open. Could you somehow be connecting to blue? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, this might be actually basically the same as one of the puzzles in Road to Gehenna at the end. I'm gonna put you down and we're gonna connect this here. Yeah, it is. This is this is a miniature version of one of the Road to Gehenna puzzles that I really liked. And it's still clever. There we go. It's still a good puzzle idea. Very neat. Okay, I am liking this. Oh gosh, hello.
Hey, 1K. I wanted to take a moment to talk to you.
Yeah?
I know we're all worried about Byron, especially Al, and I don't want to minimize what happened. But now that the mayor's here, I'm afraid they're going to take this and turn it into a reason to bury their head in the sand. Yes, Byron was rash. He wanted to find Athena so badly that it made him blind. But the thing is, he was right. He was completely and utterly right about what this technology could mean to us. I didn't see it at first, but now it couldn't be more clear to me. The theory of everything is the future. And if we reject it, we're condemning ourselves to a slow death.
I agree, you're probably right, but I have my reservations. I disagree. I would like to learn more about the implications of us using the theory of everything before making any statement about whether I agree or disagree or whether you're probably right or not. Where's that option? Also, like, so many of the arguments in this come down to, like, but he's right. Like, it's just that. Like, that's not a good argument. It's just empty. Or like, but they're speaking the truth. Like, it's coming in with a certain idea already, and then based on the assumption that that idea is already truth, making an argument about it. Well, then that's easy to argue for it because you've already claimed that it's the truth and it's right. It's funny how much I'm going between like, oh, that puzzle's really great, to the way the story's being told. I guess that's the closest to
I get it. I do.
having some
I'm
kind
not
of...
blind to the dangers. But all we do anymore is think about the worst case scenario. You know, I didn't even realize how much I'd limited my own imagination. How I'd talked myself into just accepting this incredibly poor future we'd been offered. A future where things just keep getting slightly worse every day, and we accept it because...
Are things getting slightly worse every day?
We're ashamed of ourselves.
Maybe,
Not
okay,
of something we've
you're talking
done,
about your
but just
world. Okay.
of our existence. Like we're a virus on this
But
planet.
you're definitely talking
like
about this
our
world.
humanity is a sin. I'm so tired of it, 1K. I kept my head down. I focused on fixing things. But that's all I ever did. I never improved anything. I never built anything new. And when I imagine going on like this for thousands of years, that's a fate worse than death. It really is. We either live and grow and expand boldly and proudly, or we might as well switch ourselves off. We better. because I don't think I can handle the alternative.
It's so unnuanced. Ah, smash my head into this wall. I'm switching myself off. Not because of the state of the world, but because of you. Okay. Alrighty, folks. I'm really liking this area. I'm really liking the puzzles that I'm solving. Even if that was like a direct copy of the puzzle from Road to Gehenna. I mean, the Road to Gehenna one had an extra step after that, but I like that they'd... I think maybe even at the time of solving that puzzle, did I talk about, oh, that could have just been a puzzle by itself? I think I might have said that. Who knows? And, well, if I did say that, they listened to me. Woohoo! I don't think they were listening to me. Anyway, next time we'll go see puzzle number 5 over that direction somewhere. See you then. Alrighty, goodbye.